Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So I'm gonna go ahead and answer a quick question that was sent to me by a subscriber. Screen name is Grimbus08. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read this comment and I'm gonna try to answer it to the best of my ability. All right. He goes on to say, he says, bro, can you please do a video on why some heavyweights are expected to fight top tens all of a sudden, while it's okay for Wilder to fight whoever? Everyone expects Joshua to fight Hay, Fury, etc. Yet the man has only been professional for 3.5 years, yet everyone thinks it's fine for Wilder to fight bums forever. Wilder has over double the professional bouts Joshua has literally double the professional fighting experience over Joshua, yet he continues to fight these amateurs while guys like Parker, Joshua, etc. are expected to step up to the big stage already, while Wilder can screw around still after 36 fights. I mean, goddamn, why is this okay for some but not others? What's with the fucking double standards in the sport? Would be like saying, why the fuck didn't Wilder fight Klitschko 3 years ago? Is basically a direct comparison to saying Joshua should be fighting Fury next. No one even considered that with Wilder, but nowadays they expect Joshua, Parker, etc. to fight better opponents than Wilder ever has in his double experienced career. Why can't Joshua just fight bums for another 3 years? Now he has one belt like Wilder has done his entire career. Why is this not okay? I love Wilder and think he's a good boxer, and I think Joshua has got what it takes. But fuck me, this entire political side is fucking pissing me off. People expect one man to do shit while the other, with double the bouts and experience, can screw around. The irony is bemusing. If you could do a video on this or similar, would be appreciated, bro. Love your work. Keep it up. Andrew, Australian heavyweight boxing fan. All right. So Andrew, or your screen name is Grimbus08, Andrew. What I think is this. The push for Joshua and Parker by their team, they're pushing their fighters quicker than the way Deontay Wilder was pushed. Wilder, when he came out the Olympics, the media, his team, fans, they were not pushing him by, let's say, 2011 as the heavyweight champion. Nobody was pushing him like that. I remember vividly being on eastsideboxing.com. Now I think they changed it to Boxing 24/7. But I remember being on that and being in the chat forums. And I remember us discussing, me and some other commenters, because that's what it was on there. You go to articles and you leave your comments and there'll be a comment section. And when Deontay Wilder name came up, he was around like 11-0, 12-0. And I remember then people were not big on Deontay Wilder. People didn't necessarily think he was garbage, but people just really wasn't big on him. He wasn't really getting a huge push by anybody. So I think that Joshua and Parker, the way they're being marketed, the way they're being pushed, the way that Joshua already has a title, Parker is already the #1 mandatory for the title that Joshua has. I just think that they were pushed faster than Deontay Wilder. Now, maybe Wilder and his team and his camp, maybe they felt that, hey, our guy needs more experience, being that he's a guy that started, fighting even amateurs late. He picked up boxing very late in his career and made the Olympics, but they probably still thought he needed some fine tuning before they pushed him for title shots and rankings and so on and so forth. With Joshua, he has been getting pushed literally since he won the Olympic gold medal. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that the Team Wilder, the way they handled him, is wrong or right. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right the way that Joshua and Parker's being pushed. Hell, look at Mike Tyson. He was heavyweight. He had a portion of the heavyweight crown after a year and 8 months of being professional. He was a champion. The push was different. He had 30 some odd fights by like a year because Tyson was fighting every month, every other month, twice a month. The push was different. And sometimes you can just be pushed differently. So I just think that with Joshua, people are expecting him to fight top guys because he said it out of his mouth that he wants to fight these top guys. When they ask him himself, he'll tell you that he wants to fight Fury, that he wants to be undisputed, and he wants to do that in the, this, that, and the third. With Parker, his team was the one that pushed him against Takam. So now the fans, we expect him to fight top 10 guys throughout his career now because he stepped up, fought Takam, he beat him. So now we expect him to keep going with his career. As far as Spilka, Duapa, and Molina being, and considered bums, me personally, Andrew, I don't think that those guys are bums. Now, do I think that they're legit top 10 heavyweights? And when I say top 10, I don't mean sanctioning bodies top 10. I mean overall, if we have to combine all the heavyweights together and made one top 10, me personally, I don't believe that Duapa, Spilka, and Molina will be in the top 10. I respect all those guys. I've done videos about all those guys in positive lights, so I'm not shitting on them, but I don't believe that. Now, if you ask those guys, I'm sure they would disagree with me. So I understand what you're saying as far as Wilder fighting a top 10 guy since he has the title. We know he was set to fight Povetkin. It didn't go through the Meldonium situation. So, yes, I want to see Wilder fight somebody that's a legit, not just sanctioning body, not the WBC's top 10, but a legit top 10 guy. I want to see it, and I think we will get it before year's end. This Areola fight, I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't jumping head over heels for it. I understand why it's happening, but just because I understand why it's happening doesn't mean I have to like it. I would have rather seen him fight Pulev. I think Pulev is legit. I have a Pulev in my top 10. I had one guy tell me that he thinks Pulev is a journeyman, and Pulev and Areola is the same, which I totally disagree with. Because if you put Pulev and Areola in the ring, I think Pulev will beat Areola pretty convincingly. But that's just my opinion, But as far as this, I just think the push is different between Wilder and, let's say, Joshua and Parker. Just like it was with Mike Tyson back in the day. Or look at Evander Holyfield, even though he was at cruiserweight. He got his first title shot, what was he, like 12, 11 and 0 when he fought Kwawi? So it's just a push, man. It's just some handlers, some promoters and managers, they think their guy is ready right now. Mike Tyson was very young, 21 years old, 20 years old, man, when they were pushing him, and he was in his, a lot of us fans think his prime at an early age. Fighters, their shelf life is different. Some guy may be ready to get pushed when he's 23 years old. Some dudes, their handlers and, their trainers think they're ready to be pushed maybe when they're 27, 28, just later on, So I get what you're saying as far as, why is it that Parker's out here fighting top 10 guys? But to be fair, though, Wilder was scheduled to fight Povetkin, so that would have answered our question on May 21st. It didn't get answered. We still want to see Wilder in one of those type of fights. I think it will happen before year's end. So let's just give this year, let's just finish out this year, man, these last little 6 months here and see what happens. I do think Deontay will be in there with a legit top 10 guy, whether it's Povetkin, whether it's somebody of that ilk, man. I do think he will be in there with somebody like that. But to me, Joshua and Parker are just being pushed quick because their handlers feel as if that they can get things done now. Parker, he came up, even when he was fighting and building his career, he was going against, guys that were past their prime, but former contenders like Cali Meehan, Francois Botha, so they kind of were pushing him with those names. And then out in New Zealand, man, they're pushing this guy, Takam. They've been calling out Edmund Gerber and Alexander Dimitrenko, Chris Areola. They were calling all these guys out to go out to New Zealand. Now, we can argue that there wasn't enough money out there for those guys. Some guys just didn't want to go out there. They didn't think it was worth it, the risk-reward situation. So I just think, man, to answer your question, I know I keep repeating myself, I just think the push is different. The same push wasn't there for Deontay early in his career. Now people are pushing him because he has a WBC strap, so people want to see him fight top contenders. They just want to see him fight top contenders. So it's different with both guys because I think their handlers, the pushes were different with all three of these guys. Joshua and Parker, the same type of push. People want to see them, get title shots and fighting these eliminators now. Right now. Whereas Deontay Wilder, like you said in your in this message you left me, it would be like saying 3 years ago people should have been saying Wilder should fight Klitschko right now. I get what you're saying, but the push for Deontay wasn't like that. Not that I can remember. It wasn't like that. I remember being, like I said, being on chat forums in 2011, 2012. People were not really talking about Deontay Wilder. I remember vividly, man, one dude was saying that he thinks Wilder's probably do better at cruiserweight. He said he saw Wilder live and he just didn't think the power was there. It's crazy now saying that because we look at Wilder as one of the hardest hitters at the division. It's funny, man, how when time flies, people's opinion change. You know what I mean? But I remember 2011, people thought he didn't have no power. Even though he had all knockouts, people were saying that he just looked real skinny. They didn't think he had enough weight on him, so on and so forth. So just think the push is different, man. You know, I'm not excusing nobody from any type of opponents. I'm just saying I think the push is different. Just my opinion. Hopefully, you know, you guys who listen to this can leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Good question, though. I'm out.